Welcome back. Today we're going to take a look at adding a card view around the border of our list item. So each account is going to have a border around it. And we're also going to look at changing the text styles and adding a custom font. So first of all, to create a custom font, what we do in the root folder is create a folder called fonts. And I've downloaded one here. It's a Carolingia. It's a .ttf file, and if I drag that into my fonts folder and then if I go to PubSpec, it actually has some hints here already. So essentially what I want to do is similar to this. So I want to add a fonts family. I'm going to call it, rather than making a typo, and I'll just pop it up here. So there's a few different built-in text styles in Flutter, and they should be fairly familiar to most people. So here we can do style, and if we do theme dot of context dot text theme dot, and we'll have this one as title. With this one we'll have it as style theme dot of context dot text theme dot caption. Perfect. So this actually takes the text theme of the parent that's above it. So for example, in our main.dart here, the theme data is the highest level theme data, and that's what you're seeing here. Is it'll take the text styles from here. So just as an example, we can do text theme, create a new text theme, and I set that one to be the title. So if I change this to red, you should see the text go red. So what I want to do is I actually want that to be a little bit bigger. So I'm going to set it to 22. What's that look like? Yeah, that should be fine. And I want to set the font family excellent. And actually after that I probably want it to be a little bit bigger, so I'll set it to 32. And I also want the font weight to be bold. Great. For the caption, let's do the same thing. The caption is going to be a text style. I want the font family to be the same, and I want the font's size to be a little bit bigger, so maybe that's a bit too big. Right, and finally I want to have a look at this here, the number 1. So we've got the balance widget, currently not implementing any text style, so we'll do a new text style here. We'll do theme of context dot text theme dot, and this one can be body 1. Let's make it headline. So obviously part of the downside of doing this is that we can have it a little bit too restricted. So if I change this text style, then everything else will update, which can be a blessing and a curse if you want to suddenly change all of your text styles to be one different font family, and you've used theme.ofContext everywhere, then they'll all update. But obviously that means that some things might update that you didn't want, and you have to go back and change those. So if I change headline to also use So the next thing I'm going to do is add this. It's only one list item at the moment, but I'm going to add it into a list view. So it's easy if we just take the list view and then we add children and we pop that into a list. Double check on those. See, missing all of these. This is often why it's easier to use a wrap than a wrap widget. Great. So that's added to a list now. Obviously, it is a list with only one item in it, but if I just create 2, we should see 2. Now I can add a card view to each of my list items. So if I wrap with the widget and select a card, you can see it's sort of added a card. If I just set the elevation to a really high number, you should be able to see a lot of shadow, 10, a little less, 5. And if I want a little bit more padding as well, but I'll just leave that as is for now. So from here, currently we've got a list view with it looking nice in a card. Our mock account at the moment only has one item in it, so what I'm going to do is just change this so that it returns a list of account data. And I'm just going to change this so that we've got F or ESA, and the balance of this account is going to be 50. And we might also just change this to have 0.5. So we get a compilation error, and that's now because this is a list. So we have a neat way when we've got a list of items, we can map them into another data item. So for example, I can take the mock account, which returns a list, and then execute a function on it in order to convert it to a list item. there you have it. It's loading Ether, and it looks pretty good. So that's the end of lesson 3. Hope you enjoyed it, and in the next lesson we're going to start adding click listeners. So when I click on the Bitcoin, then it might take me through to the next page, and the lesson after that we're going to start really looking at animations and maybe do some other things to clean up this screen, make it a bit more readable. Thanks for watching.